Hello, this is Lori from Morgan County Public Library. Welcome to Chair Yoga. And make sure that you're wearing comfortable clothes, that you have a good chair, and that you don't do anything that will hurt yourself. Just be careful. If what I'm showing you hurts when you try it, just don't do it. Okay, let's get started. I've got Bella Kitty here. She's such a sweet kitty cat. I don't know if you can see her. She's on the bed. Let me adjust this. There we go. All right. So the first thing we want to do is get into our yoga seat. And you want to sit back in your chair. Okay. You have your feet a few inches apart, feet on the floor. Back is straight. Your shoulders, make sure they're down. Maybe just shrug them up and then go down. See, they're down. In your hands, you can put them in your lap like this. You can put them on your legs like this, or you can put them at the heart center. It's your choice. So we want our head in a straight line, and then our spine going down the body, and pretend there's a string and it's pulling you up even taller. Yes. Yes. And let's set an intention. Let's say that today we're going to work on range of motion in our joints, and we want healing for our bodies. So if there's any part that's sore or doesn't feel good, then let's give that some positive energy. So let's sit for a moment or two, about 5 or 6 breaths, and just think about these things, or just follow your breath. Okay. Well, I've got the door open, so the cats are going to be coming in and out, but they'll be okay. um, Now, I want to make a note here about breathing. You know, you want a slow, steady, full inhale. When you fill your lungs completely, your diaphragm goes down and pushes your belly out. So we call it belly breathing. And hold that for a couple of seconds and then let it out in a long, slow, controlled exhale. So while we're doing these moves, I want you to also think about that. You know, we breathe this way because it calms us down and it tells us everything is okay. Um, Yoga is very good for stress relief. So one of the reasons why is because you're breathing deep. And anytime you're stressed out in your real life, take 2 or 3 deep breaths and exhale out, and let your brain have some clarity, have more oxygen. Think about what's going on just calm down, right? That's what that breath does. It calms us right down. So we're going to be breathing like that. And the first joint we always work on, which it's really not a joint, but it's our neck. Yes. And we want to be careful with our neck. So we want slow, controlled movements. And we're going to twist our neck to the side on both sides. But we're going to do it for a couple of breaths on each side. So turning to the right. And back to center. And let's turn to our left. A long, slow, deep breathing. And back to center. One more time to the right. Back to center and to the left. All right. Now this next exercise, we're going to move our head around in a circle. And I usually say, think of your nose as making a big circle. And you're going to go really slow. No rush. No rush. Really feel your muscles in your neck. We hold a lot of tension in our neck. Let's go the other way. All right. So now we've got that part of ourselves warmed up. Let's work on our shoulders. Remember we did this shrug earlier? Let's shrug and go down. Shrug, go down. Shrug, go down. Put our arms out. Gonna make little bitty circles. Little bitty circles with our arms and our hands. Gradually make those circles a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger until you get really big circles. Really big circles. Your shoulder should be going through all its range of motion if you can do this. Now let's start making our circles big, but not as big as they were. We're getting smaller and smaller over time. Smaller and smaller. Back to the way we were. And just little bitty circles. Okay, drop your arms. Take a big deep breath in. Let it out. Let's do it the other way now. So we're making little bitty circles going the other way. And as we go on, they gradually get a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger. And now really big circles. Now let's start going a little less big. We're getting smaller and smaller all the time. Smaller and smaller circles until we're back where we're just doing little bitty circles. And now drop your arms and take a deep breath. And let it out. Okay, now I want you to put your hands on the side of your chair, holding on, and I want you to put your head down and arch your shoulders out so that your back is out like a cat that's scared. This is cat pose. And then we're going to do the opposite, and we're going to put our head back, and we're arching our back. This is cow. So let's do cat again. And cow. And cat. Cow. Good. Working that spine, getting it warmed up. Now, I want you to take your left hand and put it on the outside of your knee, palm out, and put your arm or your other hand behind your chair. Twist your spine to the side. Breathe while you're doing this, okay? So let's do 2 or 3 breaths at least. Back to center. And now take your right hand and put it on the outside of your knee, palm facing out. And take your other hand or arm and put it behind you on your chair and twist to the left. This is seated twist. We're twisting our spine just like we had twisted our neck earlier. And back to center. One more time, right side. to center. Now the left side. And back to center. Take a deep breath. Fill your lungs up. And then let it out slowly. Now, we're going to do some side twists. So, well, side stretches, I should say. So, take your right arm and try to touch the floor. You're not going to touch the floor, but bend to the side as much as you can. And up. And now the other side. And back up. Bend. Over to the right side. And up. Left side. And up. Left side. Up. And one more time. It's the very last time for this. Okay. Come back to your yoga seat. Make sure your back is straight, your shoulders are down, your feet are a couple of inches apart. And let's just take a couple of deep breaths here. Okay, so now what I want you to do is get to the front of your seat. You're not sitting all the way in the back. And I want you to have you're sitting in your yoga seat, but you're on the edge of your seat instead of all the way back. And take your right foot out. Let me move this back a little bit. Take your right foot out. Have your toes pointing up at the ceiling. And you should feel the muscles working. Hey, kitty, kitty, Penelope, come on up here and lay down. You got to be a good girl. Sorry. You just come on up here and be a good girl. That's right. Okay, so you're going to have your leg out, your right leg out. Your toes are pointing up at the ceiling, and you should feel your muscles working in your thigh. And now point your toe out to the wall, towards the wall. And up and down and up and down and up and down. And bring that leg back in, and let's put our left leg out. Our toes are pointing up. Stretch your foot out, up, down, up, down, Yes. Okay. So bring yourself back into your yoga seat. And now we're going to do a forward fold. So bending at your hip joint, go and keeping your back flat, bend forward as far as you can go. If you have something like these blocks, you might be able to use these if you can't get down to the floor. So you would do the pose like this, or maybe like this if you could get down just a little bit further, or if you need just a little bit of support, this. So, and you can use books or whatever, it doesn't have to be blocks. So what we're going to do is we're going to hinge at the hips and bend forward, keeping our back straight as far as we can go. No farther. You don't have to do what I'm doing. Do what you can. Back up. And again, forward fold. And back up. Forward fold. And let's just stay here for a moment. Do some breathing. All right. Now staying on the edge, I want you to put your feet much further apart, okay? And we're going to do this fold again, but it's going to be with our legs wide. So wide forward fold. And again, we want our back to be straight. And up, back down. Up. One more time. And there we go. And the other kitty wants out now. Go ahead. Daddy came home. We have to see him, right? So now we're going to do one more and then we'll go into a bit of a breathing exercise. Sitting back in your seat, I want you to do a big round swirl with your body, going from side to side. Now the other direction. Oh, I feel this. My back kind of cracked a little bit. You might notice that, it's easier to do an exercise on one side of your body, but when you do it on the other side of your body or go with the reverse, that it's a little bit harder, and that's normal. You just want to work on trying to make them the same if you can. um, so I think we've flexed our feet. So now we flex that joint. We've bent our knees this whole time. So we've twisted, we've turned. So how do you feel now? I think about my brain and my spinal cord and all the nerves, and think about being no bones and no muscle and no blood and all that, just your brain and your nerve system. Your nervous system, a brain and a cord and all these things. That sounds like an alien. So we're an alien in meat suit. But anyway, when you're doing these exercises, we are working with that nervous system. So anyway, we need to close. I'm almost out of time here. Go ahead and close your eyes and do some deep breathing. And remember to give yourself love wherever you hurt. Think about bringing in love and energy and releasing stress and anxiety as you breathe. Okay. So I hope to see you next week. I hope you have a blessed